Hello and welcome to another video from oorail. This video is the first in our new Model Railway Layout Challenge series, and in this series we're going to show you how to step by step build a model railway layout from scratch. We're not going to use any kind of train sets, we're not going to use any kind of gimmicky magazines. We're just going to show you how to build a layout from concept to final layout over a couple of weeks. So you should be able to follow along and just copy what we've done verbatim, or you can just use it as an idea and come up with something on your own. But what we would like to see is on our Google Plus page, or just comment in one of these videos, that if you are taking up our Model Railway Layout Challenge, that you post some photos, or if you got your own YouTube videos showing us your progress. We'd like to hear about it. Or you can just use @oorail on Twitter and send us a link, because we would like to see if this video actually helps people build a layout. Now, one of the nice things with this design is that we're using this 10-foot by 2-foot section that sits basically between the two continuous loops on our layout, and it's kind of for us it's a transition. So it's taking a couple of lines from one layout and connecting them to lines on the other layout. However, what you could do to turn this into a standalone layout, if you don't want to do it end to end, is you could put a helix on either end. Now, we're not going to show you how to do a helix in this series of videos, but there's a guy called Everett Junction who has a brilliant YouTube channel, and he has some great videos on how to build a helix. So we'll put his YouTube link on the bottom of this video, and you can go check out his channel if you want to do the helix. Now, if you're not quite sure what a helix is, it's basically kind of a like a helix shape of track on one end or both ends of your layout that take the trains, which would normally be running on an end-to-end layout, and it kind of gives them a return loop. So they go off one end, they go through the helix, they go underneath the layout, up the other end, and back out the other side. So it basically allows you to take an end-to-end type layout and make it a continuous run. So what we're going to be doing in this video, the design that we ended up choosing actually breaks the layout down into two sections. So if a 10-foot by 2-foot layout is just too large for your space, we've actually broken it down. So the first section is a 6-foot by 2-foot layout, and then the second section is a 4-foot by 2-foot layout. So together they create a full scene, and that's what we're using here to transition between the two sections of layout, but you could easily take one section or both or either. So hopefully you'll find this useful. So the first step is we're going to just, in this video, give you a quick introduction and give you an idea of setting up the baseboards. So here at oorail, since the very start, we've been big advocates of using a shelf layout. Now, what a shelf layout is you've probably seen the regular baseboards where you're a couple of feet off the ground, like maybe 2 or 3, and it's kind of at like waist height and so on. So that for a small layout is pretty fine, but unless you have a huge space like a loft or a shed, a lot of people don't have the room to dedicate that kind of space to a model railway layout. However, a lot of people would like to. So what we did here at oorail is I have this basement, and we use the basement mainly for storage. And what we did was we basically elevated the baseboard. So instead of putting the baseboard kind of like almost like a table, the baseboard is now like a big shelf hanging off the wall. So what we did initially was, you can see here, if I pan the camera over to our original layout, we originally started with the layout, the shelf layout being sort of like almost like a workbench height, around 3 feet. And then we realized that if we wanted to make it a large enough layout and extend it, it needed to be at a much higher height so we could still utilize the space underneath. So I'm about 5'8", so by putting it at about 5 feet, I can stand up and easily see the layout. I can reach everything on it and so on. I can stand on a stool and have better control over accessing some of the further parts. And of course, you can see there we've designed the baseboards with some head holes so that you can reach some of the sections, because it's up against the wall, you don't actually have the luxury of being able to get to it from the other side. So you kind of have to go at arm's length, which is, 2 feet is about comfortable arm's length. A little bit further than that, you're going to have some trouble, especially if you got to install track or weather track or put in scenery components. So one of the nice things with this shelf layout setup is if you do have a limited space, whether you're using a bedroom or a spare room, you can put this baseboard up at about this height, and it's a kind of bunk bed height, so you could easily put this above a bed, put it above a bookcase, put it above a dresser, depending on the space in your room. So you can actually leverage the space where a large piece of furniture like a bed might take up, and actually use the space above it to put the layout. And this might be just using the top part of a bunk bed, or it might be constructing a couple of legs and putting some plywood on top of it. But either way, all you need to do really is construct some form of baseboard. So what we did here was we're using plywood sheets. So these are 4 foot long by 2 foot deep plywood sheets, and these are mounted with kind of a C-shaped bracket. So we just basically took a 2x4 wooden stud that we use for house construction here in the States. They're about $2.60 or something like that for like a 6 to 8 foot section. And basically you just cut it into 3 1 foot pieces and basically kind of create a C-shaped bracket. You mount that to the wall, and then you screw the baseboard into it. And of course you want to screw that into a stud, not straight into like drywall, because it'll just come straight out. And then to help stabilize it, we've installed, as you can see here, these, if I tilt the camera down, we installed these legs that go all the way down to the floor there. So you can easily see that if you haven't been able to create a layout because you're short of space, you don't need to use that big kind of table-sized layout. You can actually get this kind of shelf layout, and you'd be surprised at where you could fit these in. So what we're going to be doing over the next couple of weeks is kind of showing you the details and so on how to extend this layout. You can see that we'll have a number of tracks coming into the layout, and then a number of tracks exiting the layout as well. So that is basically it for this video. In our next video, we're going to show you the planning stage, so we'll give you an idea of what the initial concept is, how we kind of took in certain elements from photos, and what we need to do to actually size it out so that it would actually fit here in this space. So I hope you enjoyed this first video, and until next time.